everybody!
You weren't expecting us on a Tuesday, were you? Well, we are here to bring you a special episode.
We're keeping this?
Yeah, let's just keep it. Come on, just roll with me here.
I'm rolling.
So, what is our special episode about today, Ben?
Today, we are going to review Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Really?
Really? I got the chance to see it 2 times over this past weekend. He saw it once, but you know, he'll see it again eventually.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies you just have to watch over and over
I
again.
will definitely see it again. Unfortunately, I just could not make it to see it more than once before we did this review. So my review might be a little more raw than Ben's. His is a little more articulate.
Yes, I've had time to just chill and think about the movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
he has a lot more Star Wars knowledge than I do as well. So I probably won't be doing as much talking in this one. It'll probably be mostly just Ben rattling on. Yep.
Okay, fine.
And I'll just nod and, you know, be here to support him.
All right, cool.
I hope you let me talk a little bit though.
Oh yeah, you're gonna talk.
Here we are. We're going to do the first little bit is going to be non-spoiler, and then we're going to move into the spoiler section. So we will make it very clear when we finish the non-spoiler section so that...
Pause this video.
Yeah, or just exit out and get as far away from it as possible. So with that being said, I'm just going to let Ben start because... he's just going to keep going.
Non-spoiler review. Well, I figured what me and Josiah would do is we just give our kind of initial thoughts on the movie, what we thought of it, just kind of non-spoilerly, in a non-spoilery way.
So basically my initial thought is it was pretty much just amazing and awesome. Mm-hmm. That's my initial thought, just right off the bat.
My initial reaction was, wow, Star Wars is back.
Yep. Back with a vengeance.
Back with a vengeance.
Oh, man.
Yep. It should have been called Star Wars: Born with a Vengeance because... Yes.
I love this movie so much that I'm not going to say it is for sure because, you know, I want to see it at least another time before I officially proclaim this. But I love it so much that it is tempting to be in my top 10 movies of all time. Which, you know... that's pretty high. So
and I'll have to say, I mean, this will basically sum up how much I liked it. It booted Cinderella out of number 4.
And trust me, he's a Cinderella fanatic.
Yeah. So if it booted Cinderella out of number 4 after just seeing it twice. So yeah, but they tie. They're very close. I have to say The Force Awakens is my favorite movie of the year because I rated it 0.1 star higher than Cinderella.
Wow.
0.1 star.
Dang.
So it was a fantastic movie. Definitely check it out. The story was very well paced, very well done. It moved very fast. It was a very fast moving movie. Mm-hmm. So be prepared for that. You're never going to be bored watching it.
You know, if you love, you know, if you love any of the Star Wars movies before this, you will love this one.
Oh, yeah,
it's guaranteed.
Sure.
So.
It's a Star Wars movie, so if you're a Star Wars fan, I can pretty much guarantee you'll like it.
Especially, you know, the original ones. If you love the original ones, you will love this one.
And I will warn you because this isn't spoiler, but it does pull off all the similar beats to the original trilogy. I will let you know that before because that is not a spoiler.
We will talk about that.
But we will talk about even more of that later. But that's why I feel like a lot of people have been upset about that. So just a forewarning almost. Mm-hmm. But it's awesome. Nostalgia. There is tons of nostalgia in this movie. Tons of nostalgia. That's basically what I'm saying. The nostalgia meter is 10. 10 of 10 nostalgia. It's very, very nostalgic film.
Lots of good Star Wars Easter eggs throughout there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's very good.
Is there anything else that you want to say?
I don't know. We can't really say much else that's not a spoiler. It's kind of a hard movie to talk about and not spoil things.
Yep.
So, that being said, people, we are warning you right now. This movie is going to be spoiled.
From this second forward, we're going to be talking about spoilers. So get out.
Yes.
Leave the room. And the rest of you that are staying here,
you can continue to watch. But for those of you who have not, please pause the video, stop it,
We're serious.
Do something.
You gotta leave right now.
Watch the movie, because if you haven't watched it already, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But seriously, pause the video, go watch the movie, come back, and listen to our thoughts.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get into this.
Spoilers.
Go ahead.
Okay, everybody. Well,
Han died.
Han is dead. Luke is in the movie for only 1 minute at the very end. And a lot of people had a problem with that, but I didn't. I actually thought that was the perfect way to end this movie.
Let me begin with this question. Who was your favorite character in the movie?
Favorite movie... I can't even talk. Favorite character in the movie was Rey, by far. One of the best female characters, if not the best female character I have seen in a movie that is just a solo female character, because she was strong, she was cool, she was very honorable. She was just a really well done, well written character. I just liked her character so much. The supporting characters, though, it wouldn't have been the same if she didn't have the supporting characters. They played off of her role really well, and they acted really well together, especially John Boyega. Who played Finn in the movie, he did a fantastic job. Their chemistry, I felt their chemistry immediately when they met each other.
The chemistry between all the actors was amazing.
Fantastic. Very good.
Yeah, it was top of the notch.
And I like the beginning of the movie, opens with Poe, who is one of my favorite characters. I'll expand more on that later. I loved his sense of humor. The very first thing we got with it, like the whole beginning was really dramatic. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when Kylo Ren's got him on the ground, he just pulls out this really funny line and made the entire theater crack up. That's when you really know this is a Star Wars movie. They can pull serious, and then they can all of a sudden just out of nowhere throw in really humorous line, and that's actually funny. It's got a lot of very funny humor spread throughout, and Poe's character brings quite a bit of that. Mm-hmm. So when he gets captured and he first meets up with Finn, who helps him escape, their chemistry, I felt that immediately too. They were like, "Oh, brothers, dude, let's go." It didn't feel weird. It didn't feel like weird and awkward. Like, oh, they're acting so friendly and they just met each other. This dude just saved his life. I mean.
Yep.
It's not really that weird.
Exactly.
So that was really cool. The chemistry of the movie, that's the first thing I'll say. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The acting was all incredible. It was very well written. This is definitely like the highest grade Star Wars movie yet, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I mean, because I think in my ranking, I've like, we'll rank the Star Wars films at the end, I think. But I think it's very high up there with the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very well done movie. And let's talk about one of the spoiler scenes, which is Han dying. Mm-hmm. I called him dying, but I didn't know if he was going to die when I went into the movie. I thought he was, because when I heard Harrison Ford was coming back, and I was like, man, he's wanted his character dead for a long time. They're probably going to kill him off in this movie, and they did. I thought his death was good, and I thought that whole scene was really good. I know Josiah doesn't feel the same way about it, and he may feel differently after he watches it again, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I thought that the scene of Han dying was very good, very well written. Everything between Kylo and Han and their dialogue leading up to his death was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Very
all
powerful.
The way through. Such beautifully written dialogue. I just felt like the follow-up afterwards between the characters mourning his death could have been a little more powerful, but that's just more of like a personal preference for me, I guess. I don't know. I just prefer more of a follow-up to huge emotional beats in movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but the actual scene itself was incredible, for sure. That
scene was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and I know a lot of people were mad about it when it first happened. They were like, "What? How you killed Han?" But we were all kind of expecting it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Harrison Ford, I know he likes his character, but he's wanted his character to go out, with a bang, and right. He did. I think he went out with a bang, but there were also people mad that he didn't have a heroic death. He did too of a heroic death. Yeah. He had a very redemptive death. What it was, I'll let you go.
I was just gonna say his death is gonna carry through the other movies, and I think it's gonna impact Kylo in some pretty awesome ways.
Oh, it's gonna impact him a lot, especially because he did kill his own father. Mm-hmm. So seeing that whole scene was very emotionally powerful. Just seeing Kylo Ren's gradual, it's like he wants to come back. He really does, but then he makes that decision to go to the dark side for real and kill his father. And when Leia tells Han to try to save their son, when he goes there, he knows that he has a chance of dying. And when he even goes down there and confronts him makes it even more powerful because he knows that he has at least a bit of a chance to save him. Mm-hmm. But if that doesn't work, he's probably going to die, and he knows that. He accepts his fate, but he wants to take that chance, and he does. Yep. And that's what makes it even more powerful and really, really neat. Yep. That great scene. Another scene that really stood out to me was the lightsaber fight at the very end.
My favorite scene in the movie.
Best scene of the movie. Very amazingly crafted. I mean, it felt raw. It felt gritty. It did not feel choreographed like the prequels. It didn't even feel like the originals. The originals were very, there was a lot of finesse. They were just kind of, like fencing. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, it just like hack and slash. I'm going at you. I want to kill you. You need to be dead right now.
Which
that's how it felt. Yes. You felt the emotion in the fight between Kylo Ren, between Rey, between Finn. You felt all that emotion there. And I will say right now, I thought Finn was going to be a Jedi Force-sensitive stormtrooper in this movie. I was totally wrong. Finn is not a Force-sensitive stormtrooper. I didn't necessarily call Rey being a Jedi, but after she started using the Force, I figured, I was like, well, she uses the Force. She's going to wield a lightsaber eventually. And she did. Yep. So that's good. That's really cool. To have a female character that's finally using a lightsaber, I've been waiting for a long time.
Yep. She is definitely like one of my favorite female characters of all time already.
Oh, for sure.
She is one of the most well-written female characters I've ever seen in a movie, especially like sci-fi fantasy stuff. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. It's awesome.
She's fantastic. And I'm sure you guys feel the same. I want to know what all you guys think. Like, I want to know theories and speculations. Like, we could do an entire theories and speculations video because there's so many questions unanswered at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't make me mad. I was like, this is great. They're leaving us wanting more. And that's what, I mean, you can tell that in the long run, all those questions are going to be answered, whether it's an 8 or 9. It doesn't make you mad that there are so many questions. It's like, oh, we're going to answer these 2 questions.
You don't want all the questions answered in the first one.
No, that would be terrible. Because they don't want to leave you looking forward to something in the next 2.
Yep.
So that was really cool. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I know Josiah would too, so let us know.
We usually do like a 12 to 14 minute video, but maybe we should do this one a little bit longer because I feel like we still have a lot to talk about.
I do too.
So
we just got done talking about our favorite scene, which was that lightsaber fight.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And my second favorite scene is definitely the scene between Kylo Ren and Rey when Kylo Ren's trying to read to Rey's mind and she fights back.
Yes, it's like that moment, this just got real, and Kylo Ren, he sees that too. I mean, he steps back, he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yep.
He sees it, and he is scared.
Yep.
And that is pretty awesome.
Speaking of Kylo Ren, I just want to say that he is a fantastically written villain.
Fantastic villain. He's got layers. He's got emotion.
Yep.
He makes you feel bad for him, but he makes you hate him at the same time. It's like, oh man, I just can't stand this guy, but I feel bad for him.
Like Star Wars does very well with most of the villains, I think.
They do. I think they do a very good job with the villains. Because in some movies recently, we've kind of been seeing weak villains. It's been like a pattern. And this movie was so refreshing. It finally had an awesome villain.
Yep.
And I'd been buying Kylo Ren stuff, and I was like, I know he's going to be good. And he was. And I was so happy when I found out he was good. Mm-hmm. Oh, he was so cool. And he was just nasty, too. I mean, he was evil.
Yeah.
He was evil.
Yeah. But
he was a great villain.
At the same time, you could see the pain when he was talking with Han. Then he knew what he was doing was wrong and evil.
One of my favorite lines of the movie, I mean, if anyone else delivering it would have been cheesy, was in his line when he's talking to Han, and you can see a tear in his eye, and he says, "I'm being torn apart." And you feel that emotion is you're like, I can totally see that.
Yep.
I know. I can feel your character's emotion right now. There was a cool thing I noticed second time watching through. The light was shining on him from the sun when he was having the conversation with Han, and right before he killed Han, darkness was just covering his face.
Oh yeah.
That was a really cool transition that they did with filmmaking. I thought this had just fantastic cinematography. The direction behind the camera, J.J. Abrams did an amazing job with this movie. And you can tell. I mean, you can tell he helped write it too because he's a fan. He's a big-time fan.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I thought that just was a beautiful scene. It was really well done. And my personal second favorite scene was the Rey's vision. I thought it was a almost eerie and creepy. And the minute she touched that lightsaber, I was like, whoa, this is cool. And it showed the different stuff happening. I've got a lot of speculations on that and what I think is going to happen. But that scene was crazy. It was very well done.
Yeah. One speculation that we do want to point out that we both agreed on was we think that Rey is Luke's daughter.
Which a lot of people are thinking that. I feel like that's kind of a general thing. I have other things that I think she could be, but I think Luke's daughter is kind of the most significant. Mm-hmm. I do think she has had some training, though. I think she's had some training. I think Luke trained her from 4, maybe when she was 4 till she was like 8 or 9, because that's about how old she looked when he dropped her off, or when whoever dropped her off on the planet did drop her off on the planet. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking she had a little bit of training, or she is just so powerful with the Force because she is a Skywalker. That's another explanation. I mean, she was super powerful with the Force, and she's a really good pilot. Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, there's a lot of people that have been mad about that because it's like, she's too powerful. She doesn't know how to do this. Well, that's why I'm thinking there's chemistry there. Maybe she's done this stuff before.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking maybe she's been trained, but the Force could be a good explanation. I mean, heck, Anakin was conceived by the Force. Their family is super strong.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be either way. I'd love to hear what you guys think. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I know we're all going to have different theories and speculations, but that's what's so cool about leaving this movie with so many unanswered questions is because we can speculate up the wazoo, and everybody will probably have different opinions on stuff.
And we have 2 years to talk about it. So.
Less than 2, actually. There's only 15 months.
Oh.
15 months. I think.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
No, there's more than 15 months. There's a year and a half. Not 2 years, though. I mean, 2 years is too long. I mean, a year and a half is already too long, but you know what I mean. We get Rogue One, though, next December.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty sweet.
Yep.
Theories and speculations.
Yep. The only problem that I have with the movie.
Yes, I know you're going to say this. Please, no.
Okay, I don't go there. But the only problem I have with the movie, and it's not really even a problem. See, it didn't ruin the movie experience for me at all. But I do wish that they would have had a little more of a different storyline than following A New Hope's structure of story.
And they
plot.
And this is where we disagree, because I don't think they followed it. I just think that they were bringing back...
They followed it pretty good.
They did, but look at how different it was, too. Look at how different a lot of it was. A lot of that stuff we've never seen before. It seems, but we haven't seen that like crazy of a lightsaber fight. We haven't seen a villain like Kylo Ren before.
I mean, it was basically like an amped up version of A New Hope.
It was a better version of A New Hope, is what he's trying to say.
It was a better version.
But it wasn't a reboot. That's what a lot of people have been mistaking. It is not a reboot of A New Hope.
No.
Just because it follows a lot of the similar beats of A New Hope,
people need to learn
doesn't make it it's a remake.
People need to learn the terminology of reboot.
It is a continuation of the story.
It's not a reboot,
It is a continuation of the Skywalker story, and I think it did a very good job of doing that. Yeah, there were a few similar beats. Yeah, there was a bigger Death Star. Whatever. That's what I say. I just... in the end...
It's not just the Death Star, but yeah.
I thought it was just the Death Star thing. And it wasn't a Death Star. They even said that. It was a freaking Star Killer base.
Rey grew up on a desert planet, all alone. She meets a little droid that has a map in it.
Well, yes, that is following similar beats. But then again,
hey, like I said, that didn't ruin the movie experience for me at all.
BB-8 is not R2. Rey is not Luke. They are totally different characters.
Yeah, just
totally
the same
different.
plot. But yeah.
There's a different plot. I'm the one person who stands up against it not being a rehashing totally of A New Hope, because it's not. It's nothing like it. I just feel like there's nothing like it.
I could go on with more similarities.
I've seen all the similarities and I understand them, especially after watching it again.
Like I said, it didn't ruin the movie.
But it didn't take away anything from it.
It's possibly my top 10 movies of all time, so, you know.
Yeah. I do think it was better than A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
And similar in a lot of ways.
In my opinion.
Similar in a lot of ways, but it still felt like a totally different movie. You know what I mean?
It felt better.
It could be
bigger.
Well, it could be similar, but it felt different.
It felt better.
It was similar, but felt different. Whatever. Anyway, we have a very varying view on this. I would love to hear what you guys think of this, because I feel like this is the absolute most debated issue. Is it a rehashing / reboot / reimagining of A New Hope, or does that just not matter?
It's not a
to you?
reboot.
It's not a reboot.
No.
It's not a
No
reboot.
way.
Are you kidding? I mean,
Yeah.
no. Luke is still in this movie. It's not a reboot.